everyone, it's your girl, Dr. Tomi, better known as Ama Abba. So welcome to Wellness and Wahala, and I'm just going to give you a sneak peek of our new episode, which I'm going to talk about first, the power of partnership and how we need to support each other. And Black businesses, sisterhood, the importance of sisterhood and loving each of our queens, and especially the support that we need from our kings. This is Black History Month. Hey, Black History Month is not just celebrated, just in February. They do it all the time. Then the public health topic of the week will be the Conorvirus that is going on. And the virus is not new. It's been around. It's just a new strand. So I'm going to talk about that. And I'm going to give you some great wellness and Wahala tips and the African proverb of the week. Please tune in. And I wish you know Wahala. Thank you. Love you. Hi, everyone. It's your girl, Dr. Tomi, better known as Ama Abba. And welcome to my Wellness and Wahala podcast, where I give you great wellness public health tips and also tips on how to overcome various wahalas or how to avoid some wahala. Wahala in Nigerian Pidgin English is no issues, no problems. Like when we say no wahala issues, problems, So all of us might face one type of wahala or other in our lives: financial wahala, marital wahala, job wahala, so political wahala, all the types of politics and current affairs. So we would discuss some of those topics. And just to kick it off, this week I wanted to talk about the power of partnerships and supporting Black businesses. I also started African Business Shower, and my vision for that is to throw like how we have like bridal showers and baby showers, but actually to throw like a business shower supporting other African businesses for our queens and our kings. So at the people that come to the ABS shower, African Business Shower, would set up a booth. We'll have fun music and cake and decorations, and everybody would chip in and support each other business. So before you come to the business shower, we will have a raffle, and we will give you an overview of each of the businesses that we want to support for the quarter, and then celebrate our partnerships and businesses, and each and everybody will contribute and buy a product from the businesses that we want to highlight for that quarter. And for this past quarter, I've highlighted a couple of African businesses, the Tomati Cookbook, also Toy and Travel Agency, and Lovey Ajayi's I'm Judging You book, and Oja Express app is Oja is in Yoruba like goods, so like Goods Express, you can get African goods and food and Caribbean food. It's an app if you're in the Chicago area and you want to order African Caribbean food and ingredients and things. You go and download the Oja Express app, and they would deliver straight to your home. And even me, like that lives in a different state, but my mom is in Chicago area, I can order. I have ordered on the Oja Express app, and they have delivered to my mother's home. Especially now that it's the winter time, it's cold. This is a great time to download that app and get your delivery, because I do not like going out in Chi-Town is cold. If you know anything about Chicago, the Windy City, it is not fun to be going out and doing groceries in the cold. So big ups to Oja Express creators, Boyede Chopiton, and his partner for creating that wonderful innovation. So we don't have to go out in the cold and go shopping. They'll bring the food, African and Caribbean food and ingredients and products to you in your cozy home. I also wanted to talk about sisterhood. I don't know if you guys saw the new film called She Did That on Netflix. Great woman entrepreneurs. Lovey Ajayi is also one of the people that's on that film. And it was just very touching. And I really, really enjoyed it. So if you haven't watched it, please go on Netflix and see She Did That. But I just wanted to talk about the power of sisterhood, especially not just in entrepreneurship and business, but, just personally, Black people and Africans in general, we go through a lot, our queens and kings. But our queens, I think, we have a different type of wahalas that we face. And, it's just really good to form a unity in the sisterhood. And I thank God, at least for my biological sisters, Toyin and TT Low-Key. TT is actually also my celebrity ambassador, Afro Beat, Afro Trap Queen, ambassador for Wahala Wednesdays and my Wellness and Wahala podcast. But she is just great. I have great sisters. They're great godmothers to my daughter, and we just have each other back. Like, those are the people that I know that no matter what, through the good and the bad, I will always have their back. And then I'm a firstborn, so I've always wanted to have big sisters. So I have, God has placed great big sisters and mentors, like friends turn sisters, the scripture that says a friend that sticks closer than a brother. Like, there is some friends that even become even closer than even some of your family members and cousins and blood relatives. Like, there's friends that really become like family, and I appreciate a lot of them. One of them is my girl Kiki. She has her self-love academy for women in Jamaica, and she's also a great media host and celebrity. Carrie Ann Kiki, they know her, Tums in Jamaica, and just big ups to her and what she's doing for her self-love project, and just supporting the queens in Jamaica and the Caribbean. And I know she's going to expand and really go global. But I really believe that this is a season that us queens need to stick together. And shout out to, all the African and Black kings that support us queens. When you have a business idea and, you and your family and you have children, and, it's really, really very encouraging when we have our king, to support us, not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, pray for us, lift us up, just have a shoulder to cry on, empower us, fight for us, network. Sometimes, my weakness might not be, my weakness might be not networking enough or marketing. And, my king, his skill might be marketing and getting the word out, and he's a social person, so he can be able to go and market for me and bring the customers to me. And once the customers come, I'm really good with conversating and getting them engaged. But I really love that She Did That film, because it not only highlighted the great women and queens in their businesses, but also the great kings in their lives, from their dad to their spouses to, it could be your brother, your grandpa is good also for our kings, to support our queens and really uplift the sisters and the queens, the Black queens. Also, this is Black History Month. I don't believe Black History Month should be just celebrated in February. I'm happy that it is highlighted in February, but Black history, African history, should be celebrated always. We should always learn about our history, pass it down to our children, to the next generation. It is extremely important. And also, your family history. There's a lot of interesting, unique things that make us unique in our families, especially in African families, both on your father's side and your mother's side. I'm in the process right now of doing my family tree and trying to trace back at least to the 3rd, 4th, 5th generation as much as I can. I can do it pretty good with my mom, but my dad that has passed away, may his soul rest in peace, 5 years ago, it's hard to really try to trace back. I can go back at least 3 generations, like to my grandparents or great grandparents, but from there I really don't have that much information. But my dad has some relatives, some of my uncles. I'm going to reach out to them and try to get more information to complete my my family tree, and just try to jot down, like, generational patterns of success, of, challenges of Wahala, and Wahala patterns that I see in my family, and, just spiritually just going to prayer, try to break some of those generational curses and bad habits or patterns that I might recognize and see when I'm tracing my family tree, both on my maternal and paternal side. But I think in regards to history is very good, because African families are so big, multiple wives and concubines, both on my grandfather side, on my mom and dad side. So it takes a lot to trace people, but I think it's very much worth it, especially from the public health side. Like, if let's say diabetes runs in your family, or heart disease, cardiovascular disease, respiratory, asthma. I mean, it's good to track even like your medical public health history, like, what did each person die of, or what type of illness and challenge is common in your family history, to try to take preventative measures. If you see that a couple of people have had challenges with breast cancer, you should not wait until you get older to get screening. Get screening now. Screening saves lives. Like, the earlier the better. If you see patterns of anything in your family, work on it and try to prevent and mitigate that. I always say prevention is better than cure, and it is better to be proactive than reactive and wait and then react, like when all Wahala and shit breaks loose. Like, it's better to be proactive and try to see the patterns of health challenges, health Wahala in your life, and go for screening and take the proper measures to try to mitigate any future health Wahala. And a lot of health issues, especially like chronic issues that are rampant in people's family, if you catch it early, a lot of it you can help mitigate and reverse and even stop, like breast cancer, if you catch it early enough, and cervical cancer. That's why it's good to go for a screening early, because screening really truly saves lives. Right now, the whole world is scared about Conorvirus. That's my next topic. Conorvirus is not something that is new. Conorvirus has been around for a long time. It's just basically a respiratory illness, and the different types of coronaviruses that you might have heard of in the past are like the Middle East respiratory syndrome, the MERS, or the severe acute respiratory syndrome, which is SARS. So MERS and SARS are basically viral respiratory illness caused by a coronavirus, and the symptoms are usually high fever over 100, pneumonia, kidney failure, and coronaviruses can be transmitted through coughs or sneezes from affected person or touching contaminated object. Common symptoms are like fever, diarrhea, body aches, coughs, malbreathing. It's just a respiratory illness. What I can tell you is that, coronaviruses are not new. The new outbreak that is out now, what is more concerning is that the new coronaviruses has more severe symptoms of like pneumonia and kidney failure, and more severe acute respiratory syndrome, and even some cases it can lead to death. So, and there's no vaccine or viral drug available, but there are drugs at least to treat some of the symptoms like fever and cough and diarrhea and shortness of breath. But I would say, like, one of the great prevention methods is if you even look like on your Clorox spray, on your Lysol, like even name like all the different, like it says, kills 99% of viruses in the air because it's communicable, it's infectious. So, by sneezing, by coughing, you can spread it by touching people that are infected. So it's good to use sanitizer, wash your hands. Like hand washing is just a good preventative measure, not just for coronaviruses, but a lot of infectious viruses. Like there's so much viruses in the air. And the best thing is, invest in, the Lysol, the Clorox sprays, disinfectant sprays, and spray your houses, spray your offices, get the Clorox wipes, wipe stuff down, especially if you have children in their room, clean, change your bed sheets, when they come home from school, I tell my daughter, no, take off your clothes, go take a shower, change, like out of your school clothes, like all those germs, go wash your hands, like go wash your face, wash up, and because it is extremely important to not spread germs. Even me, when I come home, I take off my outside clothes and I change into my home clothes, my nighties or PJs, or if my boo is here, my sexy lingerie. But anyways, but definitely don't keep your outside clothes on. Wash your hands, proper hand washing. I always say, count to A to Z. Not just throw soap, water within 2-3 seconds. Otiton, you're finished. No, like you should wash your hands properly. And the best way, I always say, count. Do your alphabet in your head from A to Z twice, and make sure you get around your wrist, in between your fingers when you're washing, to ensure that you wash your hands properly, because a lot of people have really bad washing techniques of hand washing. I've seen just in public bathrooms, when I see people wash their hands, I'm like, no, that's not it. And this week, the African proverb that I saw that I really, really like, let me try to pull it up. It is from Nigeria. It says, no matter how hot your anger, it cannot cook yams. Once again, the African proverb of the week is from Nigeria. I'm a Niger, the giant of Africa, that's my country. And it says, no matter how hot your anger is, it cannot cook yams. So a lot of people try to piss you off. This is, the second month of this new year, this new decade. Stay focused. My mom and dad always used to tell me another African proverb is, silence is the best answer for a fool. And, if you want to be a fool, you will argue with a fool. Like, ain't no point of arguing with some fools. There's a time to be silent. There's a time to, raise your voice and talk up and speak up for injustice. But most of the time, just look at the fool and just keep quiet, keep it moving. It is well. Let your success speak for itself and put them to shame. You know what I'm saying? So there's no every foolish person you go answer, so just try to look for wisdom and discernment. I really like this African proverb. No matter how hot your anger is, it cannot cook yams. It cannot. So we should try to learn patience in this season. And then another African proverb that I like is, a small house will hold 100 friends. No matter how small your house is, like, if it's filled with love, you will still have friends come over. So, this power in partnership, this power of, being hospitable and opening your doors to friends and helping each other out. We need to have each other back. And this Black History Month and throughout, the year, like, how are we going to support each other more in our community? How are we going to lift up each other's businesses to really unite? I see how other communities really unite and support each other. And that is my prayer and hope for this Black History Month, that we as Africans in the diaspora, African Americans, Africans in the diaspora, and Blacks, we need to unite more. And I'm happy that, especially with like Afrochella that is happening in Ghana, a lot of Africans in the diaspora, African Americans, came home. Even African in the Europe and in the diaspora in the Europe area, all over the diaspora came to Ghana this past December, and they really turned up. So there is really power when we all come together. And I hope that continues, and not just learning just Black history, but African history, going all the way to the slave capsules, and to the motherland, to learn the real history, because most of the stuff that they teach us here in the books, it don't be the real thing. They don't tell us the real wahala that happened to our ancestors. So traveling is a form of history and learning and knowledge. And that's why sometimes, like, if I have to take my daughter out for school, I have to go to overseas trip for work and TDY. Sometimes I, get permission, and she makes up some of the homework, or she'll virtually participate through her tablet, because I think it's great for her to travel with me sometimes to countries that she hasn't been, to learn. Like that is knowledge that you can't learn. Some things you have to just practically go and see for yourself, to understand and to learn better than just reading it in a book or in a magazine or online. Traveling is a great form of education and empowerment. So thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Wellness and Wahala, and I'm wishing you no wahala this week. Please like, share, follow, and subscribe, and I will see you guys or hear you guys next week. I hope you guys are going to participate more. I talked about the power of partnership. I know that another topic, I did a poll on what are some of the topics you want me to discuss for Wellness and Wahala. Mental health came up a lot, so I'm going to have a lot of information that I'm going to share in the next episode about mental health. So thank you once again, and love you, and see you next week.